where you break down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and the wildest stories from the world of pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or just stepping into the squared circle, we're here to give you the real scoop on everything happening in the ring.
I'm your host, RJD, and we're about to take a ride through the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Get ready for all our hot takes, deep dives, and all the wrestling you never knew you needed.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and join What the Wrestling family so you never miss an episode. Now let's step into the ring.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. AEW Dynasty has come and gone, and it was a 25 million hour show. Jesus Christ, why are these pay-per-views so long? And I, as well as a lot of people, are not happy about the way this shit ended. So let us not waste any more time. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's go. Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. Once again, I am your host. Excuse the video. We will be working on why this looks like that. My green screen looks kind of crazy, but we'll get that corrected. Don't worry about that. What's most important here is AEW has come, AEW has gone. Dynasty is over. And yeah, we got a lot of angry folks out there. And we're not even going to wait. We're going to deep dive into this immediately. So, as always, check for the updates. Check for the updates this week. Thank you for everybody rocking out, everybody who's liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Please hit the like button. Follow me, RJD, at What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. What the Wrestling. I promise y'all this week I'm going to add.
Nope.
I promise y'all.
Nope.
This week I'm going to start adding to the TikTok again. There's a lot going on, but I got y'all. We're going to start adding stuff back to the TikTok because, yeah, we got to start adding stuff back to the TikTok. So look out for that. All right. Let's get to Dynasty. Okay. All right. I hated the way this ended. Oh my god, I hated this ending so much. Yes, I did. I want to bounce around, but we got to start with the main event. We have to. What is? I got so much I want to say. All right, let's start here. We won't start at the main event. Let's start here. Why are these shows so long? They don't have to be this long. We didn't need certain matches on this show. We didn't need Bandito and Jericho. We didn't need Fletcher. We didn't need Fletcher and Briscoe. We didn't need. There was one more we really didn't need on this show. Hold on. Rated FTR and the Death Riders. I mean, because of the angle, you could say we needed that, but we didn't need those two. We didn't need Danny Garcia and Adam Cole. Like, you could have saved that for a main event on Dynamite. We didn't need those 3 matches. And they gave like 20 minutes to Bandito and Jericho. That match didn't really need that much. They need 20 minutes. It's like these shows, they're on Sunday, they're long as hell. And I'm not even talking about just like people who got to work a 9 to 5 the next day, because you're wrestling, you're going to get your wrestling whether you have to work or not. It doesn't matter. But my thing is, if you start these things at 8 o'clock, start them at 6, start them at 7, so that they end at 11. So that they, start them. If you're going to have a 5, 6 hour, now it's not as egregious as it used to be, putting 10, 11, 12, 15 matches on the show. That's crazy. But at the end of the day, they had a great crowd. Philadelphia. Thank you, Philly. Don DeMarco. Philly, great crowd. Great crowd. And how do you, Philly, man, city of brotherly love, but you're booing Wheeler Yuta? He's from Philly, man. Nah, I love Philly. Philly's awesome. They booed Santa Claus. They don't care. They don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, pay-per-views are too damn long. Cut 3 or 4, 7. You got a pre-show, which is what, hour and a half, 2 hours, or an hour, and then you have a 5 or 6 hour show. It's like, that's overload, bro. Come on. Gotta cut these things down. 6, 7 matches. Bang, 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 bang. We out of here. Give matches time to breathe. It's like as soon as one match is over, it's like promoting the next match already. It's like, God damn. We ain't got. Can we digest what we just saw? Shit. So we have to. They got to work on that. And secondly, this Death Rider storyline. We're just gonna start here. What are we doing? That's an L. That's an L. We'll just pick it up here, and then we'll roll through. AEW World Championship match. Death Riders. John Moxley with Marina Shafir versus Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. This gets really good towards the end. We got a ref bump. These guys are nuts. Let's talk about the Meteora off the ladder onto the announce table. Let's talk about that. These guys are absolutely out of their mind. That's when shit got absolutely crazy. This was a really good match beforehand. And, they just picked it up towards the end. Swerve stomp off the ladder onto the announce table. They get back in the ring. They're trading strikes. Moxley kicks the knee out from under Swerve, who was selling the knee. Marina Shafir slides a chair in. Moxley whipped the steel chair at Swerve, but Swerve ducked it and knocked over Paul Turner, the referee. So that sucks.
Nope.
Then Hangman comes down to the ring, and Hangman, he gets on the apron and he's setting up for the buckshot. He's setting it up. Swerve is up. Moxley's up, but he's like, do I hit Swerve? After Swerve just said, I know, I went into your house. I'm sorry. So it's like, ooh. Or do I hit Moxley, who's been in pain in his ass too? Remember, he did put Hangman to sleep, and they did have a mean feud a while ago. So he's like, I'm going to go hit Moxley. But here come the Death Riders. They come down. Paige fights them all off. And Hangman gets in there, blasts Moxley with the Deadeye. Then the Ops come down. They did say they were going to be in the building, and I forgot about that. The Ops came down, and they came down and cleared house.
Nope.
So I was like, let's go. Let's go. So now they're brawling. Everybody goes to the back. Swerve cracks Mox in the head with the steel chair. Swerve goes up to the top of the apron, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, let's go. It's coming. It's coming. Swerve right now is looking unbeatable. Swerve stomp straight down onto this bastard Moxley. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And then the lights go out, and I said, shit. Oh, shit.
You stupid.
Stupid of me to think that they would do the right thing and get the title off of this brother, because he does not need the title right now, and he is actively dragging down the show with this storyline. Foolish of me, you foolish mortal. Ha ha ha. How could you dare think Tony Khan would do the right thing. Stupid me. So, who do we have? Can anybody guess? Who it was when the lights came back on? Can anybody guess? It was the Young Bucks, y'all. Oh my God. And as the Young Bucks sit there, they have Swerve on both ends like this, both wrists. We get a BTE trigger. And Moxley crawls over for the 1, 2, 3. And it's all over. What in the blue hell do the Young Bucks have to do with this storyline? What do they have to do with this? Absolutely nothing. The Young Bucks have no reason to come and break this match up. They've been gone for... Thought my mic was off. They've been gone for 6 months. Something like that. Like 5-6 months. Haven't seen them. They're doing travel vlogs. They're out there having fun. They're enjoying themselves. Okay, great. And then they come back to TV. The last time we saw them, they were like, we tried to tell y'all, we tried to help y'all. I'm out of here. F all this. I'm out. Remember, that was the last thing they said when they left. And then they come back. Swerve has the title won, and then they cost him the title? Bruh.
Stop it. Get some help.
This didn't make any sense. This makes no sense. I don't want to hear, oh, let it play out, bro. Let it play out. Nah. Nah. This is stupid. This didn't make sense. Listen, I'm always the guy defending AEW. I'm not going to be the person to say, oh, AEW is trash, it sucks. No, I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is that, as I always stated, they need to pick it up. They need to do better. They need to make sure that the stories are on point. They got all this talent, but they need to be used properly. I'm that guy. They need to listen to the fans. AEW used to listen to its fans. Now they don't listen to jack shit. They listen to Tony Khan and whoever else is back there making decisions. They don't listen to us. Fans tell you who they want. They don't care. Nope. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Jon Moxley should have lost this title like 2 pay-per-views ago. Darby Allin, God bless him. Hopefully he's good on the mountain and he's okay. Hopefully he comes back down with no injuries, no issues, none of that. Shout out to him if he accomplishes what he wants to do. But are we waiting for him to get back? Are we waiting for Mr. Ospreay? What are we doing here? We got Hangman. We got Swerve. We got Ospreay. We got Jay White. Speedy recovery to him. Heard he broke his hand. Speedy recovery to Jay White. Jay White. We got there's somebody I'm missing that's in the title picture. I mean, we got all of these people at the top of the card that could have gotten this title off of this brother, and we could have had some good back and forths. But instead, they insist. On feeding us this bullshit. This was bad, man. This sucked. The ending sucked. And it didn't suck as in, oh, your favorite wrestler didn't win. Aw, not like that. Not like that. This sucked like, damn, do they know what they're doing? Because this made zero sense. The Young Bucks have nothing to do with the Death Riders. Man, that left a bad taste in my mouth at the end of this show. Let's start with the pre-show trios match. Nick Wayne with Mother Wayne and Kip Sabian and CRU versus AR Fox and Top Flight. Okay, so that happened. Nick Wayne got the win. The best wrestler alive, Max Caster, open challenge. They've been doing this for a little while now. And who came back but Anthony Bowens? And he came back with Billy Gunn. Did see Anthony Bowens at The Last of Us. I think it was The Last of Us 2 premiere or world premiere, wherever they premiered it. It's going to premiere to the public, I think, in a week or two. So shout out to him. Last of Us 2. I should restream that game just right before thing comes out, just so, you know, we could get ready for The Last of Us. But shout out to The Last of Us. Shout out to Anthony Bowens. They should have made this a bigger deal. This would have been something that you could have built to, but they put it here in the pre-show. You could have built to this, let the crowd go crazy, put it on Dynamite, and let him beat the hell out of his old tag team partner and let him go off to the races, because they should be building up Anthony Bowens, because we like Anthony Bowens. He's great. So I wouldn't have had that on the pre-show, but whatever. All right, show starts off. Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. First things first, Kevin Knight, extremely athletic, awesome. Kevin Knight, very good. I can see why WWE wanted this brother, because he's awesome. First of all, he's got springboards in his goddamn feet, because he can jump out the gym, extremely athletic. Will Ospreay right there with him, and he hung in there with Will Ospreay. Great moves back and forth. The end came where Ospreay powerbomb Knight. It was a great sequence where he tried to do the Styles Clash, but he couldn't really get it, and it got reversed. That was kind of cool. They were like on the outside. He tried to get it, but he couldn't get it, and he reversed it because he picked him up into powerbomb position and then DDT'd him onto the ramp. That was a cool spot. After that, towards the end here, we got a Styles Clash follow up by an Oz Cutter for a near fall, and then he got hit with the Hidden Blade Sayonara. Thanks for coming. And standing ovation for these brothers. And Ospreay gives him the dap after, gives him the fist bump, handshake, puts him over, and we're gonna see big things from Mr. Keith. I'm about to say Keith Lee. We about to see big things from Mr. Kevin Knight. Great match. Now, AEW World Tag Team Championship match: the Hurt Syndicate versus the Learning Tree. The only thing of note here is Hurt Syndicate was whooping ass. Big Bill was being Big Bill. Big Bill, shout out to Big Bill, man. First of all, the people like Big Bill because a lot of the fans know the trials and tribulations he had in the last 5 years. And they know he fought his way back. He fought his way, onto AEW. And I don't know if it's a redemption arc, but a lot of people gravitate towards Big Bill. He's big. He can go. He can beat your ass. And he's in the best shape of his life. Shout out to this brother right here. So we got to give Big Bill his flowers. But people like him, so they might end up doing something with him maybe down the line by himself. I could see it when the Learning Tree disbands. So after that, MJF basically hit Big Bill with the ring. Then he got speared out of oblivion on the outside. And then that was all she wrote. Shelton Benjamin, German suplex. After that, spear by Lashley. Thanks for coming. And MJF helps them out. They weren't too happy about it. MVP came in the ring and told them to, tranquilo, relax. And we'll keep the MJF stuff going on. We'll keep that stuff going on moving forward. But another thing is, MJF is like floating in the middle. That's the other person. MJF, he keeps talking about he wants the Triple B, but he's not going back and fighting for it. He's rocking with the Hurt Syndicate right now. So this shit kind of makes no sense either. MJF should be at the top of the card where he belongs. And I know the Adam Cole feud hurt him because Adam Cole was out forever and he was a babyface. But now he's back to being a dastardly heel that we all know and love. And I just don't like the fact that we don't know what's going on here. Let's drop that a little bit. We don't know what's going on here. So we got to figure that out. MJF should be back at the top of the card. So 2025 Owen Hart Foundation match, quarterfinal match. Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart. The crowd really got into this towards the middle, going towards the end. Julia Hart put her in this octopus move. That was a near fall. The Heartless. There you go. She applied the Heartless, but Mercedes transitioned it into the statement maker. Mercedes tied up Julia with a cradle to get the pin, but there was a good back and forth sequence here at the end where it was like bank statement. Then she tried to get to the ropes. She reversed it, flipped it back around, and they ended up having a good match. In the beginning of the match, it started off slow and it was kind of sloppy, but Mercedes Moné is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Julia Hart has come a long way and she has gotten very, very good. So we're not going to shit on her. But I think it was a chemistry thing. They've never wrestled each other to my knowledge. So their chemistry was off in the beginning. And that's okay because towards the end, they got the crowd. Crowd got into it. Crowd really wanted Julia to win. And I think the crowd really likes Julia. I think her character work and her transition over, I think the crowd really, really likes her. So we'll see what they do moving forward because there's a lot of people that the crowd really likes. Like they want to win. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But ended up being a good match. But the chemistry was off. Death Riders versus Rated FTR. Only thing you need to know about this match is Dax Harwood was acting crazy. He was, being overly emotional towards the beginning of this match. So we already knew the heel turn was coming. Wheeler Yuta got booed out of the effing building. And these guys had a good match. So we're not going to sit here and bullshit about this. So the end came where Cope's momentum carried him into Dax, but he stopped himself. He got hit into Dax anyway. Yuta shoved him into Dax and they bonked heads. Yuta then drilled Dax with the Psycho knee and out of nowhere gets the win. This was a good back and forth match. Very, very good wrestling match. These guys are all pros, all amazing. The Bastard Pack in the beginning was getting the better of Dax Harwood, and he was getting emotional, and he was getting into his head. And I liked it because you just slowly see him descend into madness. And at the end, after the match, they all do the whole, yeah, we love each other, and it's coming. And then he pile drives Edge, and we all know Edge has a history of neck injuries, had to retire because of it, and now he is back. He gives him the power driver. He goes and gets 2 chairs for a concerto. He goes and gives Cash a chair, and he says, "What's wrong with you? I'm not doing that." But instead, they hit the shatter machine, and then he hits him. He power drives him onto the chair. It's just overkill at this point. And then Cash grabs a chair and gives him not 1 bang, but 2 bang concertos.
Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
Afterwards, he put the neck brace on and he mocks Cope and he's like, "Oh, my neck hurts. He's going to need it more than I do." And at the end of the day, this was expertly done. I was like, oh my God. We're not going to see Cope for months. I would be shocked if he doesn't at least get 60 days off. If we see him in 2 weeks, I'm going to be mad. So we better not see Cope for like 3 months, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. So this probably is all leading back to Christian and Cope with one last final run towards the AEW Tag Team Championships. Looking forward to it. This was expertly done. AEW Women's Championship match. Timeless. Toni Storm with Luther. With fighting against Megan Bayne with Penelope Ford. And basically, Toni Storm came out with the Rocky theme. She had we saw her training before the match. They saw the vignette of her training, running up the steps, doing all of these extra hurdles. And we had the whole Rocky theme, and it was cool. People love Timeless Toni Storm. I love Timeless Toni Storm. She's great. Character work on point. She comes in. She's getting her ass kicked. And then towards the end of the match, we had not 1, not 2, but 3 hip attacks. And then we had Storm Zero, and Megan Bayne kicks out at 1. Everybody's like, oh. And then next thing you know, Megan Bayne goes, she picked her up, a lariat, another lariat. Then she hit her with like a suplex thing. It was like Megan Bayne got the star and she was running wild at the end. But she kicked out at 1. And after that, Toni Storm's like, what? is this big goddamn Amazon looking chick. How am I gonna beat her? And after that, she beats her up. Crowd is going crazy, like, oh shit. So, and she destroys her, like I said, when she had the star. And she goes for the F5, basically, and it gets reversed into a cradle. She cradles both legs and gets the flash pin victory. So for Megan Bayne, that's an L. They tried to protect her in defeat, but this was a very good match. Shout out to both of these ladies. They both killed it. Owen Hart Foundational Tournament match, quarterfinal. Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher. Another match that did not need to be on the show. These guys had a good back and forth match, but Kyle Fletcher nailed the turnbuckle brainbuster for the win. Back and forth match here. A lot of stuff going on. And at the end of the day, these two, very good. Very good. I like what they're doing with Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is being built up to do something, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to let him go win some more significant matches versus significant people sooner than later. You can't have him win 2, lose 1, lose 2, win 3. Like the 50-50, you got to work on that. That's going to be a problem. So, another match that did not need to be on this show. Chris Jericho versus Bandito. Okay, the crux of this match is Chris Jericho whacked Bandito over the head with the bat, with the distraction. He gets the pin. He wins the match. But Aubrey Everett comes down and is talking to his sister and his mama in the front row, and they're saying he cheated. They find the bat. They restart the match, and then he hits the what's his move called? The 21-plex. I forgot it for a minute. He goes, hits the 21-plex, and gets the win. So they restarted the match. He wins the Ring of Honor title. Finally, good for him. And then he celebrates with his sister and his mom, and everybody has a good, happy ending, and everybody's happy. That's great. I love it.
Give me a hell yeah.
But we didn't need this on this show. We could have had this at the pay-per-view, Supercard of Honor. What is it? Supercard of Honor. The next Ring of Honor Championship. We could have had this on that show, but instead we got it here, and we didn't need it here. So they could have X'd this out. We did not need this on this pay-per-view. But good match. Jericho's contract, I heard, is coming up. So will he be going back to WWE to be in the Hall of Fame? Will he keep wrestling? I mean, listen, a lot of people want Jericho to go away, but at the end of the day, he does. We do need some time away from Jericho, and that's with anybody. You know, Jericho's had such a long run, reinventing himself over and over and over. Sometimes you need to step away, and the fans need a breather from you. I mean, it happens when you're on top for too long. That's what happens. But we'll see if he resigns again, or we'll see if he goes. And are there more stories to tell in WWE? I don't know. We don't know. So is there more things to do? We don't know. We'll see what Jericho wants to do. But Bandito, new champion, great. TNT Championship match, Danny Garcia versus the Undisputed Kingdom's Adam Cole. Baby, we did not need this match on this show, but we got it anyway. The end result was Adam Cole drops the boom and gets the win, new TNT champ. Danny Garcia in a loss. They show respect and they show love at the end, and that was great.
Give me a hell yeah.
But we didn't need this match on TV. Good match, solid match. We just didn't need it on TV. Next, we had the Kenny Omega Ricochet Spike Ball. You hear me?
You stupid.
Speedball Mike Bailey. This was great. The only problem that I have with this match is that it might have went 5 minutes too long. But they had real creative spots where one guy was trying to pin both guys. So we had like a double backslide. We had like a double pin, how Ricochet got into the title picture. We had that. We had like a double cradle spot. We had a double V trigger. We had a lot of that part in the match was really cool. That was really cool because there was some stuff that I had never seen before that these guys came up with. Very creative. This match to me was insane. So way too much to go over here. This was a lot. So we'll pick it up towards the end. Omega rocked Bailey with a Snapdragon suplex. Omega followed up with one to Ricochet. Omega then hit the double Snapdragon on both guys. I don't think we've ever seen that. So I'm saying we never seen that before. Hit both guys with V triggers. Bailey went for the shooting star knee press, but Omega dodged it and locked Bailey into a knee bar. Ricochet connected with a 450 onto Omega for a near fall. Ricochet then crushed Bailey with a vertigo for a 2 count. Ricochet served up a shooting star press on Omega, but Omega kicked out at 2. Bailey blasted Ricochet with the crane kick. That was hilarious. So we had a Karate Kid spot. Down at the Marco for these guys. We had the Karate Kid spot, and it's crazy because there's another Karate Kid movie that's coming out real soon too. So these guys know what they're doing. So we had a Karate Kid spot. A man sitting there. Ricochet's like, "What are you doing? That's not gonna work." Okay. And then he runs to him, just like they do in the movie, and he gets kicked in the face for a 2 count. For a 2 count. So Bailey went for the cover, but Omega took out Bailey with a V trigger right on target. Omega finished off Ricochet with an avalanche to one winged angel, while Speedball was stuck in the Tree of Woe and he couldn't get out of the Tree of Woe. This was a mother effing one. This was great. Don DeMarco for all of these brothers. And then you had Kazuchika Okada come down to the ring for the stare down, and we will get Omega Okada 5 or 6. Omega Okada 6 here in AEW. Both guys are relatively healthy. I think we're going to get at least 2 or 3 matches out of this. And my thing is, who wins the first match? Who wins? Listen, this is a sidebar, but it has to be said. The first time I saw Kazuchika Okada, the first time I saw or even heard of Kenny Omega was Omega Okada 1. The very first one at the Tokyo Dome all of those years ago. What was that? 2018, 2016, 2017. It was around there. Go look it up. One of the best matches I have ever seen in my entire life. The match was an hour long. If you count if you count entrance to the finish of the match, it was like an hour and 2 minutes. These guys, I never heard of Kenny Omega. I never heard of Kazuchika Okada. But all I know is, I guess at that time they were building Omega up, and Okada was about to take over as the ace of New Japan. And it's right around the time when New Japan started to get really hot with the Bucks and everybody else. And when I saw that match, I remember I saw that match on the bus. I was on the bus going to work, and I was looking at that match on my phone like, oh my God. I was yelling, oh my God, in the back of the bus. The bus is packed. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, how are these guys still alive? That is the match that got me into New Japan Pro Wrestling. And the rest, as they say, is history. Then I learned about all the other guys in New Japan, and I started watching those matches. So that match is A1, and I followed that whole storyline, and now they're in AEW. Now, Omega has changed his style. We don't know what kind of Kenny Omega we're going to get. Are we going to get the cleaner, or are we going to get a variation of that? And we all know what Okada can do. So these guys have unlimited chemistry. Can't wait for that match. That's going to be A1. Now, moving on to the World Championship match. We already talked about that in the beginning of the stream. So that's really all I got for y'all. But I am not happy, man. I am not happy, man. AEW, you guys got to do better. This was absolute bullshit. There's no reason why this match ended the way it did. You got to get that title off of. It's at the point now where people are you're losing viewers. The main event scene is not hot. People are just fed up. And it's like, they got to get their comeuppance, man. I get it. We're not supposed to like the Death Riders. They're bad guys. They're supposed to make us angry that they win. But that's not the type of mad people are. That's not the type of feeling that people are getting. People are mad because these guys are still with the title, and the show is not good. It's one thing when the bad guy wins, but the show is good, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect that. The show is not where it needs to be. The storyline makes no sense. The show is in decline, and you refuse to acknowledge that this shit is not working with the fans. So that's what they need to figure out. But that's all I got for you guys today. Monday Night Raw review, most likely coming out tomorrow on Tuesday, because I'm going to end up doing it mad late. I might not have time to do it today. But that was your AEW Dynasty review. I am out. RJD here. Everybody be safe. You guys already know what time it is. Enjoy the day. Peace.